Oh my God, we're finally back. It's only been a week. I was exhausted after last Sunday. Was anybody else exhausted after last Sunday?
I had a blast. I was stoked.
Yeah.
I did not die.
I love how Puck is officially a dragon slayer. Like, they're like, oh, you command dragons? You're clearly a dragon slayer then. Uh-oh. Puck is mute. Puck is mute.
It did it to me earlier too. You might just have to like
mute.
unmute and mute yourself. Nope.
Try your StreamYard. Go to your StreamYard audio and see if it changed your default on you. Sometimes StreamYard likes to do that. It gets angry
Or,
that way.
If you have a button on your laptop for mute, I had to mute that and unmute it, and then it worked on mine. It was weird.
How rude. You assume Puck has a laptop?
I'm just asking. It's how I had to do it to mine. We still can't hear you, though.
There she goes. Bouncing out. So I've had enough of you, Earthen.
Hey, I was trying to actually be supportive that time.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. Let's
That
be
time,
honest.
I didn't say always. That time.
The belligerent bard from Bellevue.
Belligerent. What?
See, that's why my husband didn't want to say he's from Bellevue, man. He doesn't want to hang out with people like you. Bellevue sucks.
Hey, did you buy an Oakland shirt after that game? Kentucky lost in the first round of March Madness tournament. You know. Oh, hey, there she is.
Okay.
I'll tell you on the break. I don't follow college sports at all, and we were pissed off 2 weeks ago because I don't. So nothing happened that I didn't know about. But
Okay.
yeah, don't follow it at all. But I'll tell you either on the break or after the game.
Right.
Awesome.
Anyway.
Don't follow it. How dare you? How dare you not follow sport? Or, or whatever it is that you follow.
I only follow it for the tournament. I don't follow it. I fill out a
Yeah,
bracket.
I know a lot.
and-
Yeah, I
and
know a
compete
lot of
with my
people
family.
I know a lot of people that prefer to follow it just for the brackets.
Mhm.
When it gets to the competitive neck and neck kind of
March Madness.
environment. Yeah.
Go Rams is a thing I hear.
Oh, I love it. So, talk about where we last left off. Day 2 of our arrival into the Shattered Isles, more importantly, on the island of Dragon's Breath. This particular island seems to be a place where the Voik who follow the clan of the Elk may be in contention with those Voik that follow the clan of the Bear. We had a secret little scry interlude on one of the simulacrums of the Dragonborn, which I can't believe after all.
Lizard boy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The Lizard Boy. Once again, I'm getting him confused with my other
Vassarisk.
Dragonborn, Vassarisk, which, oddly enough, this guy's now been officially around for like half the game. I think that's pretty impressive.
We
for
thought we
an-
killed him.
Yeah. For a mid-tier NPC bad guy. The
But we have
team-
his book and his staff.
Yeah, that's true. Because you got it from one of the simulacrums that had fallen in battle back in the swamps of Gnomeworks. The team finally arriving spent the first day recovering from their escape from the Mimic plane shift portal and allowing them an opportunity to recover and begin to discuss and try to figure out what to do next. They took their long rest within the tiny hut. Green Bottle is still with you, although she seems to be here of her own accord and for her own purposes. The team, however, have spent day 2 getting familiar with the Voik. First, encountering a hunter on the way down to the coastal areas where Fjordheim kind of sits on the edge of the water. And then later, meeting up with a priestess of the Voik. She then allowing the team to be guided into the interior of Fjordheim township. There's a ceremony there is a process in order to earn the trust of the Voik. Clan Elk has offered up the opportunity of challenge, where each individual is presented to Stormpelt. Stormpelt then assigns the necessary challenge based on the introduction of the player or of the character. And with that, Earthen had a unique opportunity to present the idea of chance and luck. More importantly, the resolution and solving of complex lore like riddles. We then moved on to Xaneth, I believe, went next. And she was challenged with the idea of faith and the idea of divinity and what faith might mean to not only her, but she seems to be what they refer to as a daughter of the sea. So perhaps they have some knowledge of sea elves. Once Xaneth accomplished her challenge, Puck was presented next. At this point, Greenbottle had been discovered and brought in to the Voik Longhouse as well to get an opportunity to admire and watch these. Hello. We've got rolling thunderstorms right now where I am.
Nice.
So if I suddenly go away, it's because California finally slid off the edge of the world and
It's Cord.
Yeah.
It's
Cord. Yeah, it's definitely the Stormlord.
It's Cord's fault.
The
So it's an act of God, not just
Or
win,
Spot
right?
won the fight.
As Puck was presented as somebody that seemed to have had a knowledge and understanding of the natural world, including a very resplendent tiger kind of presented as her both friend and pet. It was during her 3 challenges of the beast world, these 3 mythical beasts that are common amongst the Voik, that she withdrew her coin dragon, her pseudo dragon. And by presenting the pseudo dragon, we learn that the Voik have a unique respect for their most favored enemy, dragons in general. Whether it's specific to the Clan Elk or to the Voik in general, not entirely sure. But she immediately won her challenge by presenting her kind of dominance over both the tiger as a beast and the pseudo dragon as a mythical creature, earning the title of Dragon Slayer. With this, Stormpelt then presented his best warrior. As Spot takes his place in the middle of the challenge, there's a sound, what was once a rough, kind of loud background of cheering and frivolity and active participation of the crowd. It settles into a low kind of thrum of throat voices as this very tall, and in comparison to most of the Voik, rather than looking of someone of strong stature, they're very lean and almost kind of like cord, like their muscles are like cords and wires. He comes in only wearing his leather knee-high pants. That's all he wears. He is festooned and covered in tattoos that all bear a resemblance of Spot's so adorable. He thinks he's going to get initiative. Then he's just covered in Clan Elk tattoos. By far the most interesting one is the one on his chest, represents the frontal kind of horns and stag horns of a mighty elk. And on his back, as he turns to face the crowd and kind of answer their call, you realize that the back head of the elk is also tattooed on his back. Stormpelt stands up, silences the hall, and you immediately begin to hear a kind of... Those in the background that play the music, they begin to pick up the pace. The drums and everything begin to pick up. Stormpelt stands And he's speaking in Voik. So you're hearing this very kind of Nordic language that is going out. And then you watch as the priestess quickly casts a spell. And then it picks up mid-explanation of his Voik language. I present to you the finest warrior our clan has. Never beaten, never submitted to. I present to you the Ironbound. And you watch as this, he moves without moving. His efforts are effortless. He moves about and presents himself in the center of the space where the challenge is to take place. Stormpelt finally smiling and realizing there's no way that anyone can beat this guy. Just kind of looks over at Spot. At your leisure, kitty cat. And you watch as Stormpelt climbs up to his throne that sits inside the Megalodon tooth fossil, the huge jaw that he has his throne inside of. The priestess comes over to Spot. I would recommend not getting hit. I don't know much about you other than your colorful colloquialisms and your very flowery words. I hope that your skills do you well. But until then, good luck. And you watch as the priestess kind of goes over to stand in between Xanath and Puck off to the side. Puck, you look down at Punch. Punch just gives you this concerned look. You could feel Lunch on your shoulder back into a small, tiny form. Because unfortunately, if he stays in his large form, it's very kind of overwhelming to the space. And there's just this sense of like momentary tension. There's a sense that as Spot begins to move out into the middle of the floor, standing 30 feet away from the Ironbound, they face each other.
Can I just set up a possible helping action, and say that if, I don't know if he's within 30 feet of me, but can I be ready in case he becomes 30 feet of me?
Sure. So in case he gets tossed close enough to you, you want to have a help action ready to go to assist Spot in case he needs it.
Yeah. Not Spot. The warrior, I would like to do True Strike to be able to see what his weaknesses are and tell Spot.
Got you. I love that. Ooh. So if Spot manages to get Ironbound nearest you, you'll be able to figure out what his strengths and his weaknesses are and try to figure out how to communicate that to Spot. Love it. Does anybody else? And I'll say at some point, Earthen kind of stumbles away from the celebration, and just kind of, it's the smell of just sweat, contusions, really, really stale beer. And he just kind of comes staggering over to stand next to Xanath and Puck, kind of admiring, watching the Ironbound and Spot kind of facing off against each other.
I'm going to start playing music too.
Okay.
For those inspirations. I'm going to play the fight. Kind of like that way I can possibly pepper in those inspirations.
Love it.
But you'll start with one Spot. So like,
oh yeah, that's right. So you have an inspiration. That's right.
Oh, yeah, I've already
inspiration.
Well, I assume I have inspiration from my my trail mix. So hang on.
Yeah, you have the inspiration from your trail mix, which once you use it, it's gone.
Yeah.
You probably should have a couple D6 inspirations too, right?
Yeah. Oh, tricks.
You got a D12 from me.
Ooh, puppy.
So
well, I can only have one at a time, right? So
you can stack them, but they can only be used one at a time.
Okay. Well, hold off on that one for a second, Earthen. I'm actually going to shoot you a question about something, but let's continue on that. But, yeah.
Gotcha.
Was I present for Stormpelt's introduction of of Ironbound?
Yes, I would say you were present enough to be aware of it.
Okay, I mean, I was gonna introduce Spot in the same kind of way.
Okay, I love it. And we'll say that's the impetus for your inspiration that he'll be able to use.
That's what I was.
How do you describe Spot's entrance?
So I start strumming like some low tension chords, right? And then I say, he's been tossed off the mast of a great ship in the middle of the sea, but made his way back to shore. He's been toe to toe with a dragon, standing on its face, fighting it until its last. He's dove off a rock in the middle of the air and with no real care for his own safety, but chasing after friends and fighting until the bitter end. He is the ginger fire tabaxi.
Give me a performance check as you do this whole flourish. As Puck, and you can have an advantage on it if you need it, because Puck and Xanath are there to kind of cheer on the flourish of it.
It was performance?
Yes.
Okay, that was a 30.
30. There's a point where even
I rolled a 19 plus 11.
Like some of the other Voik in the crowd are like, yeah, all right. Yeah, maybe this guy's gonna do okay. And like they start cheering and and at this point, Spot, what do you so your opponent is basically wearing just breeches, nothing else. So what are you wearing? Like, so far, no weapons definitely aren't involved. What are you deciding to keep on your person to do this fight? I know you got your pendant.
Mm-hmm. I'm keeping my pendant and my bracers on. Other than that, it's just my robe and my bracers, like nothing else. I think it would be dishonorable to use my rapier.
No, it's fair. Once you're facing off, 30 by 30, and Stormpelt stands up in front of his throne, puts his hands up. Fight! And as he brings his hands down and yells that out, you watch as Ironbound begins to blur in front of you. His vibration of his movements, he never seems to stand still. And within moments, you feel 4 strikes coming at you. 2 to the midriff and 2 at your jaw. He moves so fast, you couldn't even see him. However, being a monk, you get 1 reaction. What do you want to do as your reaction?
Well, first off, he needs to make a wisdom save because he can't target me because I have sanctuary.
All right. That is a 31 on his wisdom save.
Well, fuck, but yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Well, dang.
So anyway. All right. He's got to do that for like every action he does against me, but hey, I'll take it. So
because it's not concentration, right?
It's wisdom.
No, I mean it's not concentration to maintain.
No,
it's part
it is
of your,
just
it's part of your monkiness.
It is per my monkiness is until I do an action against him, essentially.
Okay.
But anyway, so I get to try to dodge one of those attacks.
You get a reaction. What do you want to do with your reaction?
I'm just going to try to evade. I'm just going to dodge.
Okay. With that, as you try to keep pace with his movements, you find yourself moving just in time to kind of lessen the blows. Go ahead and take half of 28 points of bludgeoning damage. All right. As you feel fists into your midriff, fists come up into your jaw, and then he blurs and moves about 20 feet away from you and begins to the 2 of you are now kind of circling each other, looking for that opportunity.
All right.
So there's no initiative. There's no need for move, action, or bonus action. You just describe to me what you'd like to do, and then I'll have you roll dice.
Okay. Right now, I'm going to cast Silent Image. I'm going to make a perfect copy of myself.
Okay. Perfect copy of yourself. Where does it go?
Right now, I'm just using my I know I'm just matching my stance to the image, so it is just overlaid on me.
Gotcha. Awesome. As you bring your silent image into existence, you watch as your opponent blurs and races towards you. You step at the last instant out of the way as you watch 4 more blows harmlessly pass into your silent image. This has opened up an opportunity of attack for you. What do you want to do?
I'm going to do if I'm able to, going to attack him with my Quicksilver Claws. Just do my 2 attacks that I get per round.
Okay, go for it. Roll to hit. And you have advantage on this because your silent image effectively distracted him. So I'm treating your silent image as an ally.
Nice. All right, the first one is a 22 to hit.
That'll just barely miss.
Just barely miss. All right, so, hey, don't do that. Come on, roll advantage, you little shit. Having difficulties. All right, the next one is a 23, so I assume that does
hit. Barely hits. Yeah, go ahead and roll for damage.
All right, and I get to add another 16 plus a d8. That is 21 total damage.
Nice.
And was that 1 combat turn?
So, as 2 strikes go into him, the first one missing, the second one finding his ribcage, he turns to look in shock and then smiles in admiration. You just hear his voice. Excellent. Finally, a worthy opponent. And then he turns his leg backwards and does a reverse roundhouse kick that comes up into your jaw. And as it strikes firm up into your jaw, you take 8 points of force damage. Give me a strength save, please.
Strength save? All right. That's not great. That is an 8.
8. It knocks you back.
Buddy.
I'll use that next time.
If you want to use it. Okay. So, as you take the flat of his foot up into your jaw, you get thrown back 20 feet. But before you land on your ass, you kind of bring your hands down and prevent yourself from falling, keeping yourself, because monks don't fall. But he pushes you back 20 feet. He then starts racing towards you, leaps up in the air, and make a wisdom save.
I've attacked him. He doesn't have to.
That is a 28. So
I've attacked him. It doesn't apply anymore. So there is no sanctuary on it.
Okay, gotcha. So as he leaps up in the air, he brings his knee full force into your chest. You just feel the bones of your sternum kind of crack a bit from the strike as you take 18 points of bludgeoning damage. He then somersaults backwards by kicking off your chest to land 20 feet away. What do you do?
All right. I do want to make sure, is every one of these a combat turn?
We don't do, we're not really doing turns.
I know it's for timing purposes. That's what I'm asking for, because I have my pendant.
Yes, for that purpose,
okay.
Yes. Every time I go into what do you do, that means you gain the health from your pendant. Good point. I like that.
Okay. And all right, so he's about 20 feet away?
He's about 20 feet away. The two of you are kind of circling each other in anticipation.
All right. I'm just going to charge at him, just claws extended outwards and just barrel forwards. Let me know when I'm about a foot away from him.
As you get within a foot, so you're about up in his grill at this point.
I'm going to use invisibility, and I'm going to attempt to grapple him as soon as I turn invisible.
Nice. As you go invisible, he brings his arm back like he's going to punch, and then you disappear. Go ahead and give me acrobatics or athletics with advantage as you try to grapple him. And my guy will have disadvantage.
That is a 32.
32. I rolled double 19s for a 30. So you win the grapple. So you've got your arms around his torso, and it's like holding onto rock. I mean, it's just, the guy is just a massive sinew of cartilage and muscle, but you have him, and you grappled him around the waist. What do you want to do?
I'm just going to drive him into the ground. I'm going to knock him prone, preferably on his face or on his belly.
Yeah, and does your invisibility reveal you once you attack?
I gotta take a look real fast.
Because there's lesser and greater. Does it describe your ability as lesser or greater invisibility?
The spell ends for a target that attacks or casts a spell. So yeah,
Okay,
basically
so
as soon as I did that.
So yeah, it's like you guys watch as Spot goes invisible just as he gets up in front of this guy, the Ironbound, and then the Ironbound goes to throw a punch, but then Spot goes invisible. Within a moment, you watch as Spot reappears, but he's holding on to the Ironbound by the waist, takes him up, slams him into the ground.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll 2d10 for the damage, if you would, Spot, and
Alright.
add your dex modifier to it.
Okay. All right, that is 11 plus my dex modifier. That is 16 damage.
Nice. As you slam him into the ground, you hear his breath kind of whoosh out of his body. And as you slam him, he kind of looks up at you, and then he takes his palms and he brings them down and up into your rib cage. And you feel the palms strike twice. And you feel like your vision just blur for a second. Give me a con save, if you would.
Con save.
Is it like quiet except for music, or are people cheering and shouting?
Oh, people
and
are
stuff?
definitely cheering.
Okay.
All right, that was a Jesus. Let me find the log. It wasn't high. I think it was like a 12, or it was a 15. I think. Yeah.
15. Your vision blurs as you feel yourself get stunned, and you kind of stagger and stop. And you're trying to clear your vision. You're trying to clear your breath and get yourself organized. You watch as the Ironbound slowly gets to his feet and breaks out of your grapple, but then grabs you by the back of the head and brings his knee up into your face twice. Yeah, just slams it up there as you take 12 points of bludgeoning damage. You kind of stagger backwards, but staying on your feet. You're no longer stunned. What do you want to do next?
Let me see if I have anything interesting I might be able to do. Oh shit! I should have done it the first time. I'm just gonna again just run at him and just try to get him with my claws.
Okay, go for it. And don't forget, you have your key you can use too.
Oh god! Thank you.
Yeah, don't forget. I mean, the only thing we're doing different is I'm not putting you in the initiative box. You're just free to describe what you want to do, expend what you have, and then the ebb and flow of it will take place.
Okay. I think I got another just barely hit. I got like a 23 and like a 17.
23 will hit, just barely. This
All
guy's fast.
So I'll roll damage on that real fast and screw up. 8 plus D8. Screw it. Let's roll physical D8. That is. Sorry, I got to do math here.
No worries.
4, 8, 15, 22 damage.
Nice. Describe what you do.
I've tried to I just run at it and I just dig my claws into his chest and just pull backwards. Is he stunned?
And he I'm gonna have him make a con save. We'll say that's a stunning strike.
Okay.
Ooh, he fails. As you rake across his chest and pirouette behind him, he staggers and his blur stops. He's no longer vibrating or blurring around you, and he shakes his head like he's stunned, like what he did to you. You have another attack here. Go for it.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and where are you? Do my claws again. I will use my inspiration, my D6 inspiration. So let me roll that real quick.
Go for it.
It wasn't much. Ooh, crit. That is a crit.
Hey.
Nice. Roll twice
All right.
the dice or roll the dice once and times it by 2. Up to you.
All right, let's roll it twice. So let's see, that's 22 plus an 8 because I got to roll 58 again. So this is weird. Ooh, nice. 22. That is 30 damage.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. With that, he is stunned, but as soon as you strike him from behind, your claws dig in and up into his ribcage, and you just kind of lift him up, drop him to the ground. As he drops to the ground, he somersaults backward and he upward kicks into your chin while at the same time kind of pirouetting away from you and doing flat palm strikes to your sternum as you take 21 points of bludgeoning damage. He then looks right at you and begins to blur again, and you watch as he moves so fast between different points in front of you, he starts moving towards you. You see him fly and arc towards you with both knees kind of striking you in the chest.
Would this be, is he going fast enough that I could potentially consider that a missile weapon? If he's flying that fast.
I like that. Yeah. What do you have to roll to catch an arrow?
I have to find it in there. It's been a while since I've actually had to use it.
Should be
deflect
under
missile
your...
attack. It is a what missiles? I'm trying to read it. Oh, I reduced the damage of it. If it reduces to 0, I can turn it back. So how much damage?
So like as he leaps towards you, you use the momentum. You grab onto his shins and you turn and you toss. Because of that creativity, as you turn and toss him, he wasn't expecting that. So he kind of lands sideways on the ground and skids within about 10 feet of you, Puck.
Yes. Okay. Don't fuck it up, Puck. Don't fuck it up. I cast True Strike.
Does that mean you have to touch him?
No. You point a finger at a target in range. Your magic grants you brief insight into the target's defenses. On your next turn, you gain advantage on your first attack.
So as he slides on the gravel and stops within 10 feet of you, he wipes the blood away from his mouth and slowly starts to get up smiling. Just he's got wounds, spots looking a little rough too, but the fight's only just getting started. There's 5 things that you pick up on this guy. The first thing is he's got a special ability called Iron Will that when he drops to 0, he immediately gets half his health back. He's got another special ability called the Zephyr's Wind, which allows him to blur. He's got a third ability called Iron Strike, which allows him to create iron molecular density in his fists so that when he strikes, it's as if he's striking with iron. His fourth special ability is Resurgent Respite, meaning that as soon as he takes just a moment to catch his breath, it allows him to surge his energy. And then his final special ability is called Iron Will, where he's able to overcome. He basically has advantage, and he's got like a 12 on his wisdom save. So he's kind of like those traditional wise monks that live up at the hills. But you also pick up on his weakness. He's very weak to psychic damage, and he's very weak to cold damage as well. Also, his while he looks very constitutionally bound, he's designed to be fast and get all of his damage out as quickly as possible. He is for all intents and purposes, he's like a monk paladin, someone who strikes hard, fast, and does all the damage as quickly as he can. He doesn't really have legs for a long fight. He's used to finishing quick. And then he gets up, he looks and he smiles, and he spits a glob of blood onto the ground. And then you watch as little plates of iron form on his fingers as he goes rushing right towards Spot. Spot, as he comes up into you, he's a little slow, so he's giving you an opportunity for a reaction. What do you want to do as a reaction?
I want to evade, and if I can do this as a bonus action, however you want to do it. I want to try to wrap my tail around one of his legs and just pull.
Love it. So as you go to evade him, your tail, with a bit of prehensile kind of twist to it, grabs him by the leg. Unfortunately, his strength is pretty good, so he manages to grab onto your tail, and he takes his one free fist, and he strikes you 3 times in the midriff. Just these iron strikes up into your chest, and then he kind of takes your tail and flings you off to the side, but you do a gravel slide. You plant your feet, and you kind of slide in the gravel on the bottoms of your feet across about 20 feet. never quite losing your edge. Take 26 points of bludgeoning damage from the 2 fist strikes.
Okay.
Once again, you're now watching as the two of you are kind of circling each other.
I am keeping up with this damage, but with my necklace, it's weird. So.
Oh, yeah. I get you. I get you.
And just as far as communicating to Spots all of this information,
Yeah.
so I believe everyone has like a psychic link with Xanath, so maybe Puck can communicate with Xanath that then can communicate with Spots.
Yeah, a little bit of the
There's
game
not
of
much I can do
telephone.
about the weaknesses he has. Aren't things I can really exploit, to be honest with you.
No.
Puck, don't you actually have an ability where you can like telepathically communicate with people within like 30 feet or something?
She can talk to animals.
I have it if I stacked it. Currently, I only have detect thoughts.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But I'll keep looking. But if anybody else has any psychic things,
I do, but they're really, really obvious. They're
All right,
so
Spot,
obvious.
what are you doing? Like you two are facing off of each other.
Oh, sorry. I thought they were still.
Nope. So whenever I ask you what do you do next, that's when you tick off your pendant.
That's
Yeah.
pretty
that
much
should
what
help.
I've been doing.
Yeah.
I've been doing it pretty much as soon as you're. But all right. I want to see if I can basically. I think he and I are pretty equally matched in speed. He might beat me in con, sort of, without my necklace. But what I want to do is I want to run at him, but like as I get there, just kind of he is like a full foot tall, right?
Yeah, he's almost 8 feet tall.
Okay, that Spot's like 6'4". So
Yeah,
I just want to kind of run at them and make it look like I'm going in for another claw slash, but I'm not really aiming for his chest. I'm going to kind of deliberately feint to one side and try to grab his beard.
Love it.
All right, and I will use that D12 inspiration, so we'll see what we got there. But, all right, so all right, and again, do you mind if I? Sorry, since this is a thing, can I roll 2 attacks on that? Like try to grab it with 1 claw. If that fails, I do like the other.
I would say that because you're in contest, grabbing his beard is relatively easy. As you grab his beard, you then go up to claw into his face, like just 2 quick strikes up into his face.
I'm not actually trying to use that as an option. I want to get like my claws stuck into his beard, so it may not do any like physical damage, but like if he gets my claws out, it's going to hurt. Like it's going to take effort to disentangle me.
Gotcha.
And if I have any movement or the equivalent left, I'm going to try to like wrap his own beard around his neck and just hang off of his back.
Yeah, roll to hit him. See if you hit him.
All right, and so I got my D12 of inspiration, but let's see what we got. Oh, don't need it. That is a 24 to hit.
Nice. You easily get your claw up into his beard and you tangle it into your claws. You then quickly jab with the one in his beard and then jab with the other one as well. You get 2 attacks per round, right?
I do get 2, but what I'm saying is, because you're saying he has like basically a mace hanging off of his beard last time.
Yes.
It's a full thing. I'm not trying to physically hit him with that. I'm trying to like take it and wrap it around his neck and like get onto his back.
Give me acrobatics or athletics as you do that.
Okay. That is a critical, so that is a 37.
Nice.
I'm not old.
Yeah, I cannot beat that. So you wrap the beard around his neck, you crawl up onto his back, and he's like, you feel his corded muscles in his neck trying to resist the fact that you've got him grappled. And you're currently kind of like choking at him. And he's like, he's trying to contest it. Go ahead and give me another athletics or acrobatics as he's pulling at your arms, pulling at your body, trying to throw you off of him.
34.
34. He's like, it's slipping across your fur. He can't quite get up to you. And he falls to one knee. And then he's like, and then as he's kind of like beginning to lose consciousness, he grapples at you again, trying to throw you off. Give me another athletics or acrobatics.
That is another critical, 37.
Oh, he falls to his second knee and he's like, He's slowly kind of collapsing to the ground as he's unable to breathe, and he's struggling to like hold his breath. And and then you hear him speak. I am the Ironbound. I am the wind and the will. And he disappears. And there's a flourish of wind around you. And then you watch him as he reappears like 20 feet in front of you.
All right.
He's like holding on to his neck, staring at you. And oh, you are beautiful. And he sprints right at you. But you watch as finally the mace on his beard becomes active. And he uses his free hands to manipulate the mace and the iron ball that's bound into his beard. And you can see little tendrils of hair ripped away from where he used his ability to get away from you. You watch as the iron ball kind of comes up, down, and like slams into you like 3 separate times as you take 68 points of bludgeoning damage.
Again, can I try to, if those are equivalent to a missile attack, can I try to deflect those again?
Not a missile attack because it's actually attached to him. If he was free-forming, throwing something at you, it would definitely be equivalent to a missile attack.
Right.
It's equivalent to a melee.
Okay, you said 68. I got to do a little bit of math. I've just been doing this one at a time. There, getting my calculator up. All right. Okay. All right, I did that. So, end of his.
So yeah, and then he bounces away from you and starts vibrating again. But now the iron ball in his beard has become kind of like a center point to his moves and the way that he's moving around you.
How long is his beard?
It's about 3 feet. About 3 feet long.
Okay, so it's not enough to do something I was thinking of. But all right, so I'm going to just kind of look up again and try to use my my momentum again, but just dash at him, make it look like I'm trying to do exactly the same thing I did last time. So again, if I'm like a foot away, just let him try to, if I don't have to, I won't do it. But
his iron fingers begin to form right at you as you're like within a foot of him.
Misty step, like a foot and a half to the left. If there's wind, if there's momentum that's bringing the beard off to the other side, I want to grab it then.
Give me athletics or acrobatics. You grab onto the beard when you reappear.
All right. That's a 25, but I do have my inspiration in reserve.
That will definitely beat it. I rolled really low. So as you grab his beard, you pull, and it causes him to somersault over your pull. He lands flat on his back, kind of looking up at you, like the ground around you kind of trembles when he lands. He's looking up at you with like this look of just a bit of fear on his face when it happens, leaving him open to a follow-up strike if you want to strike him.
Okay. I'm going to take his own, like the iron ball on his beard, and just basically just wail like right into his solar plexus.
Give me your 2 attacks. Yeah, go for it.
I did want to ask because I don't know quite because it is kind of an attack. It's kind of a spell.
We'll just treat it as improvised. So roll a d20 and add your dex modifier.
Okay. I was going to say because what I was going to try to do is if I'm able to is use my my hex ability and just give him disadvantage on con saves.
Beautiful. I love it.
All right. So 20 d20 plus my dex, which is a 5. So, use that inspiration because that is not great.
Go for it.
D12. Come on, high level. Let's go. Oh, that sucks. That is a grand total of 12.
Yeah, like as you wrap it around, bring the ball up, familiar with his own weapon, he kind of smiles up at you, and he slides his head out of the way as the ball comes down. You get 2 attacks with it, though. Give it a second attack.
All right. So let's try. What were you? That is a 24. Earthen, did I just have the 1 inspiration from you, or are you kind of going?
I've only given 1 out so far. I haven't had the opportunity to shout more at you.
You're fine. That was a 24 on my side.
24 will hit. As you bring the ball up, he smiles and he moves. The ball hits the ground, but then rather than bring it up to strike him again, you just see where he is and you slide the ball on the side of his head, just like really quickly, flicking it into his ear. It hits his ear. Since you hit him with his own weapon, go ahead and roll 4d10.
4d10, okay.
Correct. This thing is lethal. You're not proficient in it, so you don't get his bonuses, but you get the standard damage roll for it. And then add your dex modifier to it.
20, 23, 28 damage. And as part of this, can I, like, not as an attack, but can I just flex my Quicksilver Claws and just try to cut the beard where it's in my hand so that the ball just kind of comes up with it?
As you kind of let go, but use your other hand with the distraction. He's kind of stunned from the strike, kind of clearing his head. You quickly bring out your silver claws and you slice his beard. And you wrap the beard around your hand. You back up away as you've now got the iron ball with his beard attached to it. The crowd just goes insane. And even Stormpelt, even Stormpelt lets out a cough, like and he just like a bellow of affirmation. Seeing this humiliation, Ironbound gets off the ground, and you watch as he closes his eyes for a brief second. And then you watch as all of his veins pulse out briefly, and then pulse back into his body. You watch as his skin almost turns to like a stone iron color, and then he begins to just sprint towards you in a blur as you feel this flurry of strikes just hit your midriff, your shoulder, your jaw, as you take 41 points of bludgeoning damage from that onslaught. I need you to make a con save, please.
All right, give me 1 second. I'm doing the math here. Was it 31? 31 points?
Yes, 31 points of bludgeoning damage. And then give me a con save.
21.
Nice. You just barely managed to keep the stun effect off of you, but you take another 8 points of bludgeoning damage from the stun attempt, which is halved to 4. He then kind of, his iron will active, he starts bringing knee strikes up into your rib cage, forcing you backwards and away as you take another 28 points of bludgeoning damage. He then kicks off you and somersaults in the air, lands back on the ground as he feels where his missing beard is, and he kind of just stands up and he slowly starts approaching you. It's been a long time since I've had such a challenge. And that challenger wasn't even nearly what you can do. Shall we finish this?
Oh. This has been fun, but yeah. Oh, I am ready to end this. Unfortunately, I think I'm trying to get my dice out.
And for you guys, I mean, Spot's looking a little haggard. Like, you're on the sidelines. While him and his opponent, while Spot and the Ironbound are like circling each other, Spot has manipulated it in such a way that Spot's within 20 feet of the three of you, so that if you wanted to take a help opportunity, you could, as long as it's not obvious or visible. If it is obvious or visible, I can have you make a sleight of hand or a deception check to pull it off.
Can I do a detect thoughts and really just try to dig deep in there?
Yeah, I love that. On the Ironbound, right? Oh yeah, he failed that save. As you push through the outer thoughts and into the deeper thoughts of the Ironbound, even though the Ironbound has got lacerations and bruises and cuts and contusions, the serenity of his mind is almost overwhelming. He is convinced, regardless of what happens to himself, he's going to win. No matter what happens, he's still going to feel like he's going to win. This is someone's mind that is so fine-tuned to their physical prowess and what they can do. For the first time, Puck, you get the feeling that this is someone that could potentially beat Spot. That's the vibe that you're pulling in from the energy of the Ironbound. Zenith, anything you want to do?
My sleight of hand is not very good, but if I can, I'll covertly cast Bless on him, which will give him plus a d4 to attack rolls and saving throws.
Ooh, I like that.
I was going to do that to myself as well.
Oh.
Well, Hex on him. Hex on him, which gives him a disadvantage on stuff.
Right, gives him disadvantage, but she's going to bless you as you circle the Ironbound near you, getting you close enough. Xanath, give me a sleight of hand. Well, which one's better, sleight of hand or deception?
Deception.
Yeah, do deception. That'll work.
Okay. Please, please, please.
I don't mind to be a distraction for that too, if I need to.
That will give.
Can I have the help action?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have the help
I'll be.
action on that
I'm
one.
being distracting.
So
Okay,
give me a
alright.
performance and describe what you do, Earthen, as Xanath tries to pull this off.
I'm gonna like start thrashing really hard on the lute and talking about how tigers are the most dangerous when they're cornered and wounded, and don't count Spot out because those quicksilver claws strike true, and that's a performance. You said.
Yes,
that's a 28.
So we'll say with that, not only does Xanath get advantage, it gives you the opportunity to give Spot inspiration at the same time.
Sure. So take another D12 Spot.
So you have another D12 Spot from Earthen. Xanath, what'd you get for your deception?
All right, for my second roll. Okay, I got a 16 on my deception.
Good enough on the passive side. So, Spot, you hear the words coming from Earthen. You watch as the Ironbound and yourself are kind of circling each other, and then you feel Xanath's stare, like you feel her gaze on you, and you just feel this momentary sense that Helm is watching you, and you just suddenly feel encouraged. You kind of spit on the ground, a little bit of blood on the ground, but you kind of straighten yourself out. What do you want to do?
All right. I'm going to just kind of get up and come at him with a flurry of blows. So my normal strike. Oh, wait, no. Before I do that, I'm going to activate my bracers of haste. So just, cross my bracers over.
Oh, nice. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So in this circumstance, go ahead and give me 4 attack rolls.
Okay.
Also, because you're going to spend some key on your flurry of blows, you can give me how many attacks do you get with your flurry of blows again? Refresh my memory.
I can do 2 unarmed strikes.
So you have 6 attacks that you've got coming up here.
Okay, give me a second. So first is a 30 to hit.
That one will hit. Go ahead and roll the next one.
All right. Next is a 25 to hit.
That'll hit as well. And you're adding a D4 to these?
No, these are straight.
Okay, if you get under a 23, add a D4.
Okay, so this next one is 21 plus 5, so that is 25. So that is my third.
26, so that's good. That's your third one. Fourth one?
Fourth one is a 24. Again, I'm trying not to do that in my head. So that's
that's fine.
4?
Yep, that's 4. Got 2 more.
Fifth is a 23, so again. And
that'll hit.
And a 24. So all of those hit.
Nice. You guys just watch as, feeling inspired by both what Earthen, Puck, and Xanath have done, he leaps in to just get right up into the Ironbound's face. You watch as it's almost too fast to even see it happen. You're watching as these physical blows coming up, down, and in, and then a series of flurries of kicks and knee strikes. Go ahead and roll damage on all 6 of those, if you would, please.
All right. So this is going to be kind of fun because I have to kind of do this multiple times. 11 plus. All right. First one is 12. I might have rolled the wrong one there. 15. Next is a 23.
I think this is the most activity Spot's ever done in the range.
Yeah, I know, right? The next one, I don't remember how this. It's been a long time since I've actually did this. I did get the max on that, so critting on the damage roll doesn't do anything, right?
Okay.
All right,
Correct.
so that is a
Just max.
17. I'm also not used to it. This is what, third one?
Yep, this is your third one.
18 or no? I'm sorry. Shit, what was that? So, yeah,
17
Yeah.
or 18.
18. Sorry, I
Okay.
can't math. I got too many
That's
things
fine.
going on. Damn it.
Yep, roll your fourth one.
11 plus 13. What is this? Is this one coming up? My last one?
No, you got two more.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. 18.
One more.
And a 17.
Nice. Do you want to spend any more key to do a stunning
Yeah.
strike?
I
right,
was about
yes.
to say that. I would like to do that.
Con with disadvantage.
Mhm.
That is a natural 20 and a 4. You
Ooh.
watch as that final blow lands square in his chest, and it ripples like the force of the strike ripples across him. You can see his eyes go blurry as he staggers away, stunned from that strike. Give me 6 more attacks.
All right. Well,
Oh, what?
And go ahead and give yourself a regenerative on your pendant. Yeah.
all right. 6 more. So,
Well, let me put it this way. You have 2 attacks plus your hasted attacks.
right.
If you want to spend more key on flurry of blows, you can then add 2 more.
Okay. Let me do this because I had an idea or a
Okay,
thing that
go
might
for it,
end
yeah.
it a little faster. Because he is stunned right now. That's a full
He
turn.
is
right?
stunned right now, correct.
Okay. I want to pick out my bag of holding. I just want to put it over his head and just draw it tight around his neck.
Now, remember when I asked you what you had on you at the time?
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You have your
Don't
robe,
do
your
that.
bracers, and your pendant.
Right. So again, that is on me. That
No
is
worries.
unusual
Take your
circumstances.
strikes.
But yeah, I will absolutely use another key point. So I think
Okay.
that's 13.
And remember, it's
So-
a 23 to hit him. So if you get a 22 or less and you need it, you still have bless.
Okay, first one is a 29.
That'll hit. And are you spending any key on flurry of blows?
Yes, I have spent that. So
Okay.
So second one is a 25 with a
Okay, that's 2, 3 to go.
all right 23. So yeah,
You spend, is that with a D4?
that is
Oh,
with
wait,
the
no,
D4.
23 hits. That's right. 23 hits. Okay.
Next one is an 18, so that's not going to hit. That is with the D4.
Okay.
How many am I up to?
You got 1 left.
One left. The next one is a 30.
Okay, so it's 4 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right.
Keep forgetting that Spot is like a giant bucket of hit points.
Yeah, that was a 20 points.
Okay.
This one's going to suck. 10 plus 13.
Okay.
So it's 4 hits out of the 6.
So that's it was 4 hits out of the 5. I gave you 1 extra by mistake.
Okay.
In the
That was
last
it.
round. I keep forgetting a hasted action is a single attack action, not a whole new action of
Yeah.
attacks. I always do
So
that with
that-
haste.
That is 14.
Okay, you have 1 more damage roll.
Okay. 16.
16. Do you
And
want
I
to?
want-
Do you have any more key to spend?
Oh, I got plenty of key.
Do you want to go for another stunning strike?
I'm checking one thing real fast. So kind of. Yeah, absolutely want to do another stunning strike.
I rolled double 18s,
Mhm.
so that will avoid the stunning strike because He
It's a
got
con save of 18 for me. Yeah.
Yeah, so it pretty much, or DC of 18 for you.
Yeah.
He catches your final blow as blood is like coming out of the corner of his mouth, coming out of his nose. He catches your final blow as it like enters into his hand, and he just squeezes really hard. And give me a strength save, if you would, please.
Save. Where are you? Get out of there. Oh, that sucked. That was a 12.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I have inspiration.
do?
I'll burn that. That was another D12.
Yep.
And Xanth.
And you can add a D4 to saves as well.
So it's
Yeah, it's for.
my.
That's true. It is saves and attacks. Thank you.
I think that was a total of 17. My D12 did nothing. It was a
Yeah, it, like you feel him grab onto your hand, and you feel your finger bones kind of almost break and buckle as he grabs onto you, and he pulls you in, and he gives you 3 elbow strikes right up into the collarbone, and then he goes to like try to throw you. So go ahead and take 49 points of bludgeoning damage. But give me acrobatics or athletics as he's attempting to throw you.
Okay. That is a 28.
All right, I think that's going to beat me. Oh, yeah, that beats me. So, as he tries to pick you up and toss you, there's an opening. What do you want to do?
I want to try to just like grab. I assume he has like fairly long hair, or is it shaved?
The back of his hair is braided to a short kind of shaved finish. His beard is gone because you've already ripped that off.
All right. I want to try to like dig my claws into like the base of his skull and just like, I'm not like trying to pierce it and like, you know, do horrible brain damage. I mostly just want to get a grip on his head and kind of use physics. So if he manages to throw me, he's basically going to face plant himself into the dirt.
Yeah, as he throws you, he goes, oh! He feels your claws dig into the back of his head, and it causes him to flip over, and he lands on his shoulder and elbow and face into the gravel as the gravel like bites up into his face. He kind of like he's stunned on his side looking at you. You have another opening if you want to take it.
I will go ahead and do another one of my attack rounds. So going from a 6 attacks with my flurry of blows. So sorry, I gotta keep track of a bunch of different things here. But yeah, I got tons of hit points.
Yeah, it's 3 attacks because of your haste, and then as a bonus action, technically you're just going to spend key to do flurry. So it's another 5 strikes at him if you want to take those strikes.
All right, I'm just going to count these down. Like anything over 23, I'll tell you. So that's 1 hit, 2 hits, 3 hits. I got that does hit with the D4, so that's 4.
Perfect. 4 hits. 1 more.
That's not going to. That's a 19. So 1 more.
Okay. Right. No, that's it. That's 5. So you got 4 hits. Go ahead and roll damage on them.
Well, I get 2 attacks per turn, and it's hasted. Like, this doesn't even use my
hasted is 1 attack action, meaning you can attack
I know,
once.
Well,
you get
remember
1 attack.
Hang on. Do you remember how my thing went? Because I'm not casting haste on myself. It was I get haste for 1 minute, and then I'm
no. What I'm saying is that when you have a hasted action, you can make 1 single attack.
Okay, because that's
how haste is described.
Okay, because the way we did it last time, it was I basically have haste for a minute in combat.
It's not the minute's not the problem.
Yeah.
A hasted action means that you can make 1 physical attack. So you have your 2 normal attacks as an action. Your hasted action gives you another attack. So that's where you get the 3 attacks from. Your flurry of blows gives you 2 additional attacks. So right now, because you're hasted, you're having 5 attacks at a time.
Okay. All right. I get you. Sorry, math.
No worries. Because trust me, the minute's still there. You're good on time.
Okay. So I hit 4 out of those 5, I think. Was that right?
Okay. Yep. Roll for damage. I'm looking at the log.
All right. So.
It's the longest I've ever seen Spot fight.
16.
This
All
guy's
right.
a bucket of hit points.
He is.
Yeah.
He really is.
Spot also didn't get like stunned or anything and incapacitated for the fight, so
23.
That's pretty sweet.
or go diving off something crazy random and spend all his time trying to do that. He can't run away.
23. 17, 13, 23, 17. So that's 3 out of 4.
Yep. One more.
Yeah, one more. Oh, not the right dice. 22.
22. You watch as they pull apart. Series of hammer blows, fist strikes, back and forth. The ebb and flow of this encounter has the crowd just roaring. Stormpelt is on his feet. The priestess and some of the other kind of court members of the chief are leaning in towards this fight as it has ebbed and gone back and forth and back and forth. And for the first time in a long time, two things happen. And the crowd begins to go silent. A little bit of blood comes out of the corner of the mouth of Spot, and he looks a little bit tired. Something that you guys aren't quite used to. But then the rest of the crowd stares in astonishment as the Ironbound staggers, looking right at Spot and smiling. And he falls flat on his face, unconscious. The crowd roars. Stormpelt comes racing down off of his throne to check on the Ironbound. He then gets on his feet and comes over and grabs Spot by the wrist. When you're in your homeland, what do they call you?
My name in Tabaxi is Prober. It means bright spot.
I give you the fiery center of the Tabaxi. And you watch as the crowd just roars with anticipation, roars, and the crowd's going nuts and wild. And then you get the feeling that the climax just kind of dissipates. People are just beginning to like swarm the unconscious Ironbound. Some of them pick up Spot and start throwing him up in the air and catching him, and throwing him up in the air and catching him.
It hurts. It hurts us. Can I? Hey, can you bring me everything to the Ironbound? I just want to. Oh God, that hurt.
And with that, the musicians in the background begin to insist that more ale be passed out. The local Voik moonshine begins to arrive as heavy amounts of food and alcohol, the sounds of people laughing and kind of like smacking each other on the backs. You watch as Spot's like led on the ground. The Ironbound is conscious, gets on his feet, immediately races over to Spot and picks him up and like shakes him like a toddler and puts him down. That was the best fight ever! Come drink with me! And he like grabs Spot, and they immediately go to this giant brass cauldron just filled with the local Voik moonshine. It's just permeating
Oh, no.
with, like alcoholic vapor.
Okay. Would you say I'm semi-concussed from this? Like, has my judgment been impacted at all?
I mean,
Spot.
you're dazed. You're pretty woozy from the fight.
Spot, the mug. Here, the mug.
I grabbed
The special juice.
Special juice. Okay,
It's I've filled because it was that fancy mug of fills with everything, right?
Uh-huh.
I filled it with your crazy Tabaxi punch stuff. The face
The
melting
Ironbound looks at the mug. What is this? It smells
stuff.
amazing.
It'll melt your face.
Proud to knock tankards with people willing to stand up for what they believe. And you guys watch as Earthen, Spot, and the Ironbound pull on their tankards. Watching the Ironbound fall unconscious again is pretty hysterical because as he drains the tankard, not realizing it's the Tabaxi firewater, he immediately, you could see smoke and steam pouring out of his mouth. His eyes go wide with fear, and you just watch as his eyes roll up into his head, and he just passes out again. All the other Voik just roar in like laughter and immediately grab the tankard from Earthen, and they begin to challenge each other. You try it. No, you try it. And like all the Voik are like going back and forth, like. So for Puck and Xanath, you lose Spot and Earthen to the crowd, and the two of you are kind of swarmed by some of the other Voik who are doing their kind of like their ceremony of welcoming you to the Voik. You know, they come up and they shake your hand, or they can't resist it because Puck is so tiny and cute, right? They pick up Puck and they, welcome to the clan, and, you know, put you back down. But as they do that, they kind of eye your tiger and gently set you down and kind of keep in a respectful distance. Eventually, for Xanath and Puck, the priestess, Embermaid, pulls the two of you off to the side. And she immediately begins to you get the feeling that she's relieved. Well, that was quite a presentation. If you're going to get involved with the Voik, it's good to show as much as you can in the process. And the four of you, well, now I think you can be trusted. The Voik know you can be trusted. Earlier, your friend, the one over there getting silly drunk, he had mentioned something about the Bear Clan and its chiefess. Can you remind me what he said?
We were hunting someone else, a minion, and I saw a vision of that minion speaking to the chiefess of the Bear Clan, trying to encourage them to attack the Elk Clan and to take over the island with a particular interest in the lighthouse. She also said, though I don't know it's true, that they had the Dragon Clan and the Deer Clan already bought into the idea of an invasion.
Interesting. The Dragon Clan, well, they haven't been seen for a very long time. I'm not sure if that is a separate meaning or a separate message. The Deer Clan are notorious and very fearful warriors, although not as many of them as there are of the elk and the eagle. Perhaps. So, when you say vision, do you have the eye? Are you able to use your magics to look for people, to find people? Is this something that you can do?
This is an ability I have to be able to see people that I know of or am familiar with. It's something given to me by my god.
There is a member of our clan that went missing some time ago. If I were to describe him to you, do you think you could use this ability to maybe try to find where he is?
Yeah, I could certainly try. If you have any of his belongings or a picture of him, that would make it even easier.
We do not take images of ourselves. It is considered bad for our culture. It's the equivalent of stealing the idea of identity. So we use words and our strength to kind of describe ourselves to people. She spends the next 5 minutes describing a very young Voik. Mm-hmm. She sounds to be in her teens in comparison to all the others that you see here. She's described as having very long blonde hair with a bit of kind of like red streaks in it. And the way she's describing this teenage Voik, she sounds very similar in features to Embermaid. Her clan name is Skyreacher. she is an acolyte, a learner of the teachings of the Elk Clan Voik. She is a student of mine. She was set on a path of discovery to bring something back. And I fear something has happened to her. It's possible you could try to find her and maybe help me go and bring her back if she is able to come back.
How long has she been gone?
A week.
And you have no way to communicate with her?
I do not possess the magics of your world. I know of magics of your world that allow you to communicate long distance with people who are willing to communicate with you. If you possess such power, perhaps if you can discover where she is, you can then communicate with her. My powers are tied to the natural world and the natural order of things. My power is tied to the idea of the beast and the creature of our island. My power is not as great as what it sounds like your power is.
I'm happy to try to look for her. I can go ahead and try to do that now. You don't have anything of hers?
Sure. Give me a moment.
Okay.
She kind of goes away from the two of you, just in time for you to watch a mostly naked Spot dive into the cauldron of booze and kind of swim around. The Voik are all just roaring hilariously as he comes out.
I'm not diving in. I'm doing a keg stand on top of it, sir.
Is Puck just standing there like so jealously wanting to go? She's like, I don't want to be part of this conversation.
Puck just tries to look intimidating and cool. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
And every now and
They
then,
don't know me.
Yeah, like every now and then, a Voik picks her up and welcome to the clan. Sets her back down.
Puck, tag out! Tag out!
Okay.
Tag out!
Watch as little Puck goes over to where Earthen is and like takes the tankard, and there's like a roar of satisfaction from the other Voik as the small form of Puck is now in and amongst, and the tankards are being passed around. Now, Puck, for the brevity of your drinking, it's usually not that often. So your challenges with it have been presumed to be difficult, but yet you have history. You have a background with it as well.
Puck has been drinking in every place that allowed and carries a flask everywhere.
Yeah.
She is a semi-functional alcoholic at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So, Spot and Earth, and you watch as Puck comes over, and kind of like as Puck comes over, two tankards are handed to her, and she picks up both, and she just looks at everybody like, "What's next?" The Voik all kind of lean back and go, "Whoa, shit!" And you watch as they start bringing more tankards over and more over. Puck, give me a con save if you would, please.
Okay. I mean, we have a word to fight, but this seems important.
I'm like banging the tankard, so like if you need inspiration, I'm like chanting. Like,
Okay, I love
songs
it.
like,
Yeah, you have a D12
Puck,
if you need it.
Puck, yeah, Puck, Puck, Puck.
Christian and Voik are like looking at Earth and going, "Yeah, Puck, 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 Puck."
It's 14. What's my inspiration?
A
D12.
D12.
Okay, 14 plus.
Puck, 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 Puck.
Okay, 17. That's
Puck,
decent.
Yeah. You feel a belch kind of erupt, and you feel a little buzz, but you're doing a pretty good job of like holding it together. The Voik are super impressed. This big, large Voik female kind of walks up to you and just hands you an even bigger tankard. And she looks, "Do you need help handling that large tankard, little one? I could hold it for you while you drink out of it if you'd like."
How about a wager?
Ooh.
What are we waging?
My hunting knife for... What do you have that's worth my while?
You watch as she pulls out this huge bone sword. It's just like fashioned out of ivory and bone. The blade is like this brown ebony blade of like pure bone that's been polished. And you watch as she swipes it along the chins of 3 of the Voik, and their long twisted beards, just without even a movement, just their beards just drop to the ground. Is that good enough for you, darling?
Is it something Puck would be able to handle, or is that
It would
comically
be the
larger?
equivalent of a two-handed weapon for Puck. It's not quite a finesse weapon, but we could figure out a rule set for it.
What else do you have?
She goes, well, I guess I could wager these. She pulls out these 2 thin throwing knives, and she turns them inverted into her hands, throws them, and they take off the hair of 2 of the nearby Voik. And you see their hair kind of fly up, and a little trickle of blood come down their forehead. The 2 Voik stare at each other, and they look at the woman. They go, they just start laughing.
That I like. Okay,
She
Puck.
sets the big bucket of the ale in front of you, and she takes hers. She goes, are you ready, darling?
Oh, am I? And then Puck cannonballs in and starts drinking.
You just start pouring it down. Give me a con save, if you would, please.
Puck, 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 puck.
Okay, 13. Do I have enough?
Do you have another one to burn, Earthen?
Oh yeah, I've got yeah.
Okay.
Can I
Yeah,
can I
another
cast
D12.
bless on her?
Yeah, you can cast.
I can do from the corner.
Yeah.
Bless.
Yeah,
That's a
you can
D4.
do that.
Well, I guess
love
that's
it.
it's a saving throw, right?
Oh, that's
Puck,
21.
Puck, puck.
Yeah,
puck,
nice.
puck,
And you also have a D4 if you need it.
You know what? Just to see how bad I defeat this person. 21 plus. That's gonna be 23.
Yeah.
Nice.
Our priorities
puck,
are so in check.
Puck, puck.
As you stagger under the full weight of the brew as it courses down your throat into your gullet, they all stare at you. You watch as hey, you can handle your liquor, and she finishes her bucket. She staggers underneath the weight of it, and she looks, fill it again, and you watch as they take the buckets and dip them into the big brass cauldron filled with ale, and they set them back in front of you. I could do this with my eyes tied shut and my hands blind. And she like picks up the bucket. You guys watch as Puck picks up the bucket. Go ahead and give me another con save with a D4, and you have another D12 if you want to use it.
Yay.
Puck, puck, puck.
Okay, 10.
Puck, puck,
Increasingly worse.
Oh no.
puck.
Is that with the D4?
Okay, no, now I'm doing the D12 and the D4.
Okay.
So that's gonna be a 19.
Total of 19.
All right.
This staggers you a little bit. You're now drunk. You're beyond buzzed. You're drunk. But this other gal, she's hammered. And she, you both sit down. You can hold your liquor like no other person I've seen. Quick, fill him again. One more time.
Can Puck go puke real quick?
Well, that means you lose if you puke.
Oh, wait, no, never mind.
Okay, yeah. You watch as the boy just start chortling and laughing. They dip the buckets into the cauldron and set it in front of you and the Voik woman. And are you ready, dear? This is gonna put you down for sure. And the two of you start drinking. Give me another con save if you want, Puck.
Okay. Here's a genuine question.
Sure.
Can I use freedom of waves to just pour this forcibly down my throat?
The problem with
too much
freedom of
creative.
waves, the problem with freedoms of waves is that it takes up a lot of area. So basically, you would drown this whole area in water with that ability. So I'll say, give yourself give yourself advantage on this as you're forcing yourself to drink it. However, if you fail, it means you're going to pass out cold and vomit at the same time.
Okay, fair.
Early end to the night.
Ooh, okay, thank God to that advantage. I have +1 to Constitution. I have not mentioned that. So I can't use Freedom of Waves, even just to get the target off of me so they don't know for sure if I finished it.
Not really. If you do it, it's gonna wash the whole area in I'll say this much. If you cast it, it's gonna cause the cauldron to burble up, and all the ale in the cauldron becomes the source of the liquid of the Freedom of Waves.
Yes!
Okay.
Listen, if I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna lose spectacularly.
Yeah. So what was your final con save?
It was 8.
8. And that's with a D12 and a D4?
Oh, no. Okay, right.
I mean, not that I expect you to roll a 16 and there get a 24, but...
Oh, 9, okay. So 8 plus 9...
17.
It's these.
D4 if you use Bless.
Okay. Can I do I'm adding another D4?
Well, did you already add a D4 for Bless?
I did.
Okay, so 8 and 9. You guys watch as Puck just kind of staggers there for a moment. But before Puck passes out, the female Voik just belches really loudly and begins to fall over like she's passing out. You watch as Puck starts falling over as she passes out, but she instinctually protects herself with a spell because she's hammered. She doesn't know. So she casts Freedom of Waves. Everybody watches as the cauldron's ale just bursts up into the air and splashes all over the Voik, just filling the space with the Voik. Sans, blade, where they're all dancing in the bloody sprinklers. The Voik are just dancing in the ale as it's falling from the ceiling and on them. They're like, "This is amazing!" And they're just cheering and laughing. And they immediately pick up the unconscious Puck and start carting her around. They pick up the other unconscious Voik, and they're they're cheering, and they kind of throw them onto a stack of blankets and leathers, and they go say, "Refill the cauldron!" And you watch as a bunch of the Voik kind of pick up the cauldron, and they go to take it outside to refill it. During that time, Xaneth, with a big smile on your face, you watch as Embermane approaches you. She's carrying a leather wrapped object. You're not really sure what it is. As she unfolds it, she shows you a almost like a comb made of bone and ivory, and she says, reaches with the Sky Reacher. She would use this in her hair. This is the only thing that I have of hers. Whenever she travels or goes on journeys to bring back things that we need for our lessons and our understandings, she takes everything with her. But she did leave this behind. Perhaps this could help. And she hands you comb. Let's go ahead and take our 5-minute break, and when we come back, we will do the second half. That was so cool.
All right.
Finally got to see Puck in her element. I love it.
I know what I need to do when we get back.
That sounds like trouble.
No. I'll shoot you a Discord, PM.
All right, so we are back. Well, I'm back. I'm back.
I'm back.
Oh my god, it's great. Puck got hammered. I love it. Puck got
But yeah, I sent you a quick message on Discord, so you know.
Uh-oh. Spot's gonna do a classically stupid shenanigan. I love it.
Classic Spot.
He's
Classic.
earned it. I mean,
Oh,
they've
he's
earned
earned
it. They've earned all the shenanigans
earned it,
after this
yeah.
extremely serious badass fight.
Oh my god, that was awesome. Bucket of hit points. Oh,
Spot
That's what they call
is
that,
such a like
that drink.
no, because like we forget that Spot is like a bona fide badass sometimes.
well, he's also they're the tank.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm very much the Dex tank.
Yeah, it's been that was a really good show of the build. It was really a really cool show of the build. I like that.
I was waiting to interject like silvery barbs in there somewhere,
I love
just
it.
to turn it around on him. But
I really like
Yeah,
I really like the descriptions of all of the actions, like cutting off the guy's beard. Just incredible. I love
Wasn't
it.
that awesome? I
Yeah.
love that.
Well,
Was
one of the things
so
I didn't get an
cool.
opportunity to do is I would have loved next time if he charged at me to try to use the the flail that his beard became is just kind of like a shield to wrap to like not necessarily hit him, but to like wrap his arm up in it to break his momentum.
Ooh.
I didn't get a chance to do that though.
is that your own weapon now? A new weapon?
I mean,
You're gonna-
I kind of
You're gonna keep his beard?
probably not. Not unless
yes,
it's something
as a
absurd.
trophy. Hang it up above the mantle, and when people ask you what is this, you say, "I've
I was
won
talking to my
this."
kids
Hell
20
yeah,
years from
baby.
now.
Hell yeah.
The most
Swing it around
dangerous hunt.
Now, kittens. I suppose I never told you about
Oh.
the crazy 3 weeks where I stole more than the net worth of an island country and then beat up a man with his own beard. Yes,
I
that's
love
really
it.
fun.
Hunted the most dangerous game.
I mean,
non-tabaxi humans.
I can make it a more interesting story for you to tell, right?
I would love for us all to know, like all our characters to know each other as like really, really old geriatrics. I mean, some of you earlier
Yes.
than others. And to just be like, remember when we did that? And all the young people are like, what are you talking about? You are obviously making this up.
Remember when we fought that giant fire demon thing?
Come on. Okay, Grandpa, back to the home.
No, it was real, I swear.
My name is Errand, the greatest bar. Oh, do my teeth. Put them back in.
We blew up a whole city.
Okay, let's get you back to the meds.
No, really.
Anyway,
The cleric almost killed me.
Okay, that we believe.
yeah,
So that's Anthony. You're about to have you take the comb and about to start this process. Spot, what shenanigans are you up to at this point?
I want to roll to steal Puck.
Buckins? I mean, I don't think you really have to roll. She's out
Well,
cold.
It's not so much not to steal her, to steal her from the guys that are carrying her, who are a foot and
Oh
a
no,
half taller than me.
they've already tossed her off with the other drunken Voiks. Like as soon as you pass out, the tradition is the Voiks that pass out get picked up and thrown into a collective pile.
I've
So
always wanted to be a part of a fraternity.
Yeah, as you look over, there's a mixed stack of passed out, snoring female and male voiks that are just kind of heaped on each other like little bits of drool and vomit coming out of the corner of their mouths as they're all neatly and splayed and stacked in like cordwood.
Hey, kids.
If you want to steal Puck, you can steal Puck.
I want to check on her, just kind of be like, "Hey, buddy," just kind of tap her on the face. You okay in there?
She's out cold. She's alive, but she's out cold.
Can Puck burp?
Yeah, absolutely. Like right in your face.
I'm
Big
sorry.
Big old gnomish hunter burp right in your face.
That was unpleasant.
You hear the slight gurgle of vomit, but it doesn't come out like that.
You hear Puck mumble in her sleep. I've invented battery acid.
What the fuck is a bat? Okay. I'm just gonna I'm gonna take out my one random healing potion that I've had for like a year and just set it beside her so she can hopefully get rid of the hangover when she wakes up.
Thank you.
Xanath,
All right.
Embermane kind of guides you kind of away from the crowd. Takes you over by the now area of the Megalodon kind of throne that the chief uses. Stormpelt. He's down kind of participating in the revelries and the activity that's going on down in the center. She gives you a space, and kind of stands there protectively as you've done this a million times. It's to no shock or surprise. And you begin to cast Scry or Send.
Scry.
Okay. You push everything away, the sound, the revelry, and it's just the quiet calm of your mind kind of trying to focus on the owner of this item. You know the Puck's okay. You can hear Spot and Earthen cackling as they're having fun. And you lose yourself in the spell. You focus. You think of the description. This young Voik somewhere lost on the island. His comb belongs to her. And then as your mind's eye hovers over you and over the island, there's a moment of recognition, a ping, a sense that she's nearby. Not near where you are, but you get the feeling that she's definitely in the island somewhere. And your mind's eye floats to the opposite northern end of the Dragon's Breath Island. And for the first time, you're getting kind of the full spectrum of the island itself. And there's two things you immediately notice. When your scry ability tries to focus on the area where the lighthouse is, it's just an empty black void. Like your magic has no sense of its existence. It's just this empty space. You push further north of the island. It's a sizable island. And your mind's eye drifts and drifts until you realize the northern part of the island are a series of volcanic kind of landscapes. While most of the volcanic fields of rocky basalt and obsidian kind of fast drying lava fields have already kind of, weathered, cooled, and they've become a very jagged, rocky terrain. There's an area of like maybe about 100 foot long, 30 feet wide, open, like an open area in the ground. And you could see a bright red hue of light, like flame and almost like lava-like, kind of pouring up. The vapors of the active lava tube kind of hissing and burbling up and away. It's a brief moment that in your mind you thought you heard a guttural kind of growl, this kind of low growl in your mind, but you push through it, not really thinking it's anything. Maybe it's the the lava or the steam, and you're pulled into the cavern. And the inside of this obsidian glass-like lava tube, massive in size, you get pulled and pulled deeper into it. But as you do, there's something else in here. It's aware of you, but not sure of what you are. And you're not sure if it's the missing Voik, the Sky Reacher, or not. But you can also hear the soft, rapid breathing of someone who's terrified. And as your scry oscillates into this open area, there's little rivulets of lava in different directions, little floating obsidian rock kind of bumping into each other. And on the opposite side of this cavern, the largest, the most terrifying object you've ever seen. This dragon. This massive red dragon sitting but asleep. And it lounges on a massive pile of bone and treasure. Its hoard, splayed out all at the base of its form. An acre of wealth everywhere. You could see remnants of weaponry and statues and fine crafted goods that clearly show it as being stolen from all the different clans within the Shattered Isles. And its mass is gargantuan as it just languishes there in its hoard. There's a moment when the dragon's head pops up. Its long ruby red neck, deep yellow eyes, steam permeating from its mouth. I know you're here, but I can't see you. But it means you're not looking for me. Is there a tasty treat somewhere that I've missed? He watches the dragon rolls off the pile of the hoard. The whole cavern rattles around your scrying mind. And then on the edge of your vision, a small feminine shadow moves quickly to a new hiding spot. Your scrying mind whips over into that area. You can see an exhausted, tired, sunburnt, lava burnt, just this female voice, exactly as described, this Sky Reacher. But she's not fearful. She's just tired. She's chewing on her lower lip. She's pulled her hair back and tied it off, and she's covered in dirt and grime. You watch, she reaches towards her belt and pops something in her mouth. She's breathing heavily, looking. And then the booming voice. I smell you. You're here somewhere. The dragon's visage contorts in confusion. And then the scry like snaps and breaks, and you feel the music. You feel yourself back. Your scry faded as you're back with Embermaid. Dear, you were screaming and yelling. Is everything okay?
That's normal. That's normal. That's normal.
It is not normal. I saw her. She's on the northern side of the island, but she's in a cavern filled with lava flows, and there's a massive red dragon inside looking for her. She seemed okay, but she's clearly exhausted, and she's on the run. I don't know how long she has.
You describe everything to her. Why would she be in the Vulcan Heights? That's so far. That's at least a solid 2 day by foot. Oh, she seems she's showing emotion. She's frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's a dragon?
There's an enormous, the largest I've seen. You don't know there's a dragon on this island? It looks like it's been staying in that cavern a long time.
There had been a red dragon here some 400 years ago, but it was slain by one of our previous chiefs. How? And you kind of like go on to describe how big it is to her. And then she describes the dragon that was slain. The one that she's describing sounds like a youngling, a young adult red dragon. You get the feeling that you're looking at its sire, what produced that younger dragon. Stormpelt, sensing the two of you having a conversation about something intensely, Stormpelt kind of walks over. What is wrong? This is celebration, not concern. What has happened?
There's an ancient red dragon in the caverns under your island, enormous, and it is hunting down one of yours.
The Emmermain looks worried at first, looks at Stormpelt. She takes a deep breath. Stormpelt, she has found where the Sky Reacher is. Stormpelt, you found my daughter. Where is she? And Emmermain goes, she's in the Vulcan Heights. Xanath has found her, but we believe she's in the warren of another dragon. Stormpelt scowls and turns away. And we go. And we go. We go now. Where's the Dragon Slayer? You watch Spot has Puck like tucked underneath their arm, and he's like, hey buddy. And meanwhile, Stormpelt, like half the crowd of Voik look over to see where Spot's like, hey, like everyone's staring. And...
just kind of like, try to lift her over my head, like by her waist. She's like, crime friend.
Did you just weekend at Bernie's, her? I'm fine. I'm right here.
No, she's my crime friend.
Can you weekend and burn me through the dragon situation too?
You watch as Stormpelt kind of like gathers up a couple of his personal warriors, pulls them and the passed out Puck and Spot, and grabs Earthen and pulls you guys all together over by his Megalodon throne. We must get my daughter back. Will you come with me?
Yeah.
Silence means yes.
Yeah.
The Dragon Slayer is coming.
Just very loud snoring.
Yeah.
Well, just kind of like
Wait. Do you promise not to kill me if I use magic?
Oh, you've met the challenge. You're free to use magic if you want to.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
Don't do anything too stupid. You hear a hiccup and a burp. You hear a hiccup and a burp as Greenbottle comes kind of staggering over. She's got a tiny little wine glass in her hand, and she's kind of hammered, and she's like, did someone say something about a dragon? I would very much like to collect the scale. I'll come too. Yee! And she staggers back from the drink. Stormpelt kind of grabs you, Xanath, and kind of pulls you aside. Is she alive? Is she okay?
She's alive, and she didn't look fearful, but she's tired. She's injured.
I think she can hold out then. She is tough as iron like her mother was, and knows she can. We take one of our ships now, tonight. You guys can rest. We should be there first thing in the morning. Are you willing to come with me?
Yes, we will help you.
Challenges, battles, and death. And you watch this Stormpelt kind of like raises his hands and looks at the crowd of Voiks. We go tonight. I leave Embermane here to gather up everybody else. If we don't come back, bring the full weight of our people down on this beast.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. Stay here. That's a bad idea. Don't bring. We'll be. We're enough. We're enough. We're enough. We're enough.
But what about the encroaching army?
We're enough. Yeah, exactly. We're enough. We're enough.
Oh,
We're enough.
the encroaching army.
We're enough.
We
Don't
have
bring
such a
everybody. I
bad
don't
track
care.
record of getting distracted during attacks.
Can I, before they head out, can I just kind of, if I need you to make an investigation or whatever, that's fine. But
Yeah.
I'll healing word Puck, by the way, so she's back
Okay.
up.
Yeah, like you just quickly give her a boost of health, and
Yeah.
her eyes flutter open as she comes to consciousness with Spot. Hey, buddy. Oh, look, you're awake.
Did I
Okay
win?
now.
Did I win?
You didn't lose.
Oh, I'll take this.
These are are they accomplished metal workers? Like I assume that they're like the guy that had the beard. So
Yeah, they have smithies. They have the ability to work with metal. They prefer to work with like natural things, but they do have the ability to work with metal.
okay, can I go talk to the leader? Just ask him who like their best smith is, and kind of get them.
Well,
I'd like to
that would
talk
either
to
be Embermane or Stormpelt.
Okay, let me talk to Embermane because I
Okay.
want to see if something is possible before I set it up.
What do you want to have done?
I want to see if they can work mithril or adamantine, and if they can, have Xanth talk to Winter and see if they can drop one of the pallets over here while we're out at battle. Like, it won't help us, but it'll help them.
It would be very advanced metal for them to work with. They've never worked with it before. In fact, Embermane is not familiar with how you describe it, but they'd be willing to try. And their smithy, the Iron Fist, has worked with gold and silver and precious metals. He's worked with iron. He's folded steel. If you can get a hold of Winter and she could bring stuff, it's possible that they could work on it.
Okay, that was my idea. Is just I don't have a way of contacting, but Xanth can get through to her. Just ask her to ask the guys here to grant safe passage for a delivery of supplies. Essentially, like, hey, try this, and drop a pallet of or whatever whatever the measure was of mithril and adamantine that we got on the ship.
Okay.
That's fair.
Wherever they are, we
Yeah.
can plane shift back and forth.
True.
Xanth and I can do that.
So, we should definitely do it, but can we just make sure that they fortify the area, set up traps in case like the army comes in? Just make sure we're not caught off guard.
Because I don't think we've actually communicated to the chief yet this looming threats. Maybe we need to do that first before we run off.
Earthen was hinting at it with the whole like, no, don't send the army. Never, ever, for whatever reason, send them.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
He was
He's
really
only-
drunk, but also he was like, no.
Stormpelt said that as a way of saying that he's leaving Embermane behind, but he's saying that in case none of you return, including himself,
Mhm.
to come and destroy the beast.
But does he?
So
He doesn't know what we've heard about these clans attacking, does he? Or
no,
would
because
he
you
have already heard?
clarified it with Embermane, but she
Yeah.
hasn't really pulled him aside yet to kind of bring him up to speed. So as the rest of the crowd is like continuing to enjoy the evening, it's now just Embermane, Stormpelt, and the rest of you kind of off on the dais of where the throne and the Megalodon jaw is, and you're having this conversation. She begins to concur with what drunken Earthen is saying and kind of expressing the concern about the eagle or about the deer and the bear clan assembling a force, and then mentioning the dragon clan, which kind of confuses Stormpelt as he's not aware that they still exist. So it's interesting that that's kind of proffered up as a as an opportunity for them to have a member of the Dragon Clan within this consideration. He's kind of rubbing at his chin, tugging on his beard. Is it possible that this circumstance with my daughter could be a diversion then?
They have.
It wouldn't be the first.
Yeah. They do have a tendency of doing that.
So your advice, Bob, would be for me and mine to stay put, and then the four of you. 5. This green bottle raises her hand. So 4.5, 4.25 of you go and sneak out this lair, and you can fight this thing on your own.
Oh, Ironboundy boy can come with us. He fights well.
Looks over. Ironbound, come. The Ironbound kind of sits up off the pile of unconscious bodies and kind of crawls down them. Comes over.
Hey.
Yes, my chief.
Feeling better?
Oh, yeah. No.
I bet you can breathe fire after that.
I don't think you should use a solvent as a drinking agent, but that's
Subaxis, man, they're crazy.
Yeah. Chief goes, Ironbound, they have found my daughter, Reaches with Sky Reacher. Can you travel with them? I think she is hidden in the Vulcan Heights. They said that they found an entrance into a cavern that leads to a red dragon of ancient age. The Ironbound kind of looks perplexed. I was not aware that any dragons remained on our island. Yes, I will journey with them, my chief. Good. Take them to my flagship. Have my crew and the ship get them to the north side of the island as soon as daybreak. And then wait for them there. Do not hesitate. If it means your life or my daughter's life, make the choice. The obvious choice. Of course, my chief.
Whoa. No, you're not gonna die. You're not gonna die.
Okay.
Nope. None of that shit. Nope.
He watches the Ironbound picks up Earthen. Fireman carries Earthen over his shoulder. We'll meet you down at the ship. And starts just
You don't
walking
know
with him.
everybody's dying.
You're on mute, Spot.
Sorry, I just took it off. I would just kind of like to draw the attention of the chieftain and be like, hey, I know that you're a very honorable society, but these people are kind of joining forces with, undesirables. Do they get the same treatment, or are you okay with employing dirty tricks?
War is war, Tabaxi.
Oh, would you like me to go over your front line or two of defenses and traps and whatever, and like hide them better? Maybe add some little fun little tabaxi things,
If you come back in one piece and you're not dead, sure. I think that would be very helpful. For now, me and mine will begin to prepare defenses. We'll send out scouts, see if we can locate the other clans.
Oh, by the way,
bring my daughter back.
I will absolutely do my damnedest to do that. Just wanted to let you know, I've already talked to some of your best smiths. A buddy of mine might be dropping off some stuff. Please don't try to kill her. She's a dear friend. She has not passed your test, but I'm vouching for her. She's dropping off some stuff from me that should be able to help you guys. Hopefully, probably.
And actually, maybe Winter can stay and help them in case the battle starts. Because, to be honest, Winter could probably help a lot.
Hell of a sniper, that girl. Yeah, possible. The chief looks. Hey, I will work with Embermane. If this stranger arrives, we will give her the accords of a visitor. Well, good luck. And he just starts barking out orders, and you watch as the crowd listens to him, and they just roar with anticipation. Not only an amazing entrance of new members to the clan, but war and battle. This is the blood and heart of what they live for. As they immediately roar out through the doors, and within moments, it's just the 5 of you. The 4 of you in Green Bottle, who recognizes her own inebriation, and she casts prestidigitation, and she immediately becomes sober.
What a waste.
So, I don't know if I got a chance to tell you guys, but when I went up a level, I got a new favorite enemy, and it's dragons this time around.
Nice.
Nice.
What does Lunch think about that?
That he's helping me by, he is helping me have legitimacy to have them as a favorite enemy, which means that I have advantage on survival checks to track your favorite enemy, as well as intelligence checks to recall information about them. You also learn one language of your choice that is spoken by your favorite enemies, if they speak one.
Yeah, Vexelia's character, or Laura Bailey's character, Vexelia had that ability.
So, if you can describe the dragon, maybe Puck can remember something that might help us.
Yeah, I'll describe the dragon. Huge, red, looks ancient. Seem to be able to sense my scry.
Can I do an intelligence check?
You want to do insight or history?
Let's see. I'll do history.
All right, give me a history check.
And I should have a advantage. Yes. Which is good, because the first one was a 1. The second one was a 5. What's wrong with me today? Whoa, that's so weak. That's a 9.
Yeah, you think about the description and you try to focus on the idea of this creature. Dragons are notoriously narcissistic. Your known history of a particular red dragon that had led up the rebellion in Tal'Dorei, good Lord, I've suddenly forgot the name of the capital city of Tal'Dorei.
Amon?
Amon, thank you.
Yeah.
In Amon, there was a notorious red dragon. This one sounds almost equal in threat. Red dragons are innately magical. They're dangerous. They're very manipulative. And you get the feeling that this one has been biding its time, lying low, purposely waiting for its opportunity to strike. If this was the original sire of the younger dragon, this dragon's probably well into its 1500s, if not older, which means it could be incredibly knowledgeable and incredibly dangerous as well.
Can I open the map of Revelations and see if it appears in it?
As you open up the map, you still have that same problem. You open it up and your proximity to the lighthouse still seems to kind of corrupt and blur and prevent the magic of the map from working. Almost as if part of the lighthouse's self-preservation or protection is to make it hard to be found. This might explain why you've never really had a chance to scry on it or seek it out.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait. Hey, iron guy. What?
Green Bottle just looks at Earthen and snaps her fingers. And Earthen's now sobering.
Oh. Well, that was lame.
Well, no one can understand what you're saying, you drunken buffoon.
Okay, fair. What was the name of the dragon that was killed?
I was not aware dragons had names. We just know them as creatures, beasts.
What was it called? I mean, like the Terror of the West or something like that. Everybody calls them something crazy.
No, we
They all
call
have
it a dragon.
Well,
Why would it
Okay.
be have a name?
here goes nothing. I flip out the longsword of knowing, and I like kind of set it down on the edge of the boat and kind of ping it to cast legend lore
Okay.
about this ancient, massive red dragon that's existed on this island, or is associated with the island now, but it's existed for a long enough time. Surely somebody's heard of it.
As your legend lore tries to reach out via Puck and Xanth's description, there's no reply. There's no knowing. The sword simply is a hollow echo of no information.
While we have the sword out, can we also see if Spot's token has anything in there? The one that Spot received from the fairy hag?
I don't know how often can you use legend lore.
I can use it tomorrow.
Oh.
Well, I mean, we gotta sleep on it, so
Yeah. And then I can also do sorry,
primeval awareness.
yes, that's the one. I would like to do primeval awareness for one for dragon and one for undead.
And how far can that reach?
In my favored environment, which I believe this counts because both mountains and forests are under that description.
Okay.
It should be. Sorry, I have too many weird little things now.
You guys feel the boat cast off. You can hear
6
the
miles.
6 miles. You feel the boat cast off the pier. You watch as the dozen Voik put the oars into the water. You can hear the thrum of the drum going up and down as they're kind of going with the tone and the pace. You feel the Voik ship pull out into the bay as they begin to row very kind of rapidly, taking you guys at a good clip. There's even enough. They're moving fast enough. There's a bit of a breeze. At the very edge of your sense, Puck, the very edge, there's only one other time that you felt something this hateful and this vindictive before. It was when you looked into that shadowy place in Gnomeworks. The shadow of Zahir, the idea of some ancient representation of one of the fallen gods, the idea of it. And there's a moment on the edge of its reality that you feel this overwhelming sense of just pure hate. And you feel this dragon. And for a brief moment, you thought you heard its guttural, kind of chesty, deep-throated kind of build for a minute. And then you kind of like disconnect from the feeling. You know exactly where they are. 6 miles on the other side of the shattered shore along the island. If you tried to get there by foot, it would definitely take you a solid day or two to get to it. But you get the feeling that the Voik ship will have you north of the island in about 3 or 4 hours. Right as, we've gone from mid-morning to late afternoon at this point as the Voik ship is out and heading in the direction of the Vulcan Heights and the northern part of the island.
Was I able to pick anything up as far as undead?
No sense of anything undead.
That's good.
Yeah.
Does anybody need me to check anything else, or should we try to rest before we arrive there?
Yeah, I definitely need a rest. Physically, I'm okay, but I have no abilities.
Do we think we'll have enough time to get a long rest before we before we get there?
You've got about a 4 to 6 hour journey. So by the time you get there, it'll be in the middle of the night. It'll be like 2 o'clock in the morning. And we'll say that takes a long rest for that to happen. So you feel like you got enough time.
Okay.
Okay.
Green Bottle like opens up one of her travel bags and she begins to assemble an alchemy station. She kind of looks around. So, I can make a couple potions tonight before we get there. What do you guys need? What do you want?
Fire resistance?
Yeah.
That is a good one. Okay, I'll make a couple bottles of that. I have enough to make one other. What else do you think we might need?
Does Puck know of any specific weaknesses of dragons?
As they've become your familiar target and you decide to select them as your favorite foe, dragons by definition love to monologue. They can't be surprised because of the way their true vision works. Invisibility won't work. You get the feeling that this beastie is probably immune to fire and would be vulnerable to anything cold-based. They probably have a lot of resistances, and you know for a fact that they're usually immune to condition as well. Sometimes the biggest advantage that you can have against a dragon is that it's a single creature. The more it's forced to challenge you in an individual way, the less it's capable of doing. One of the advantages you have going into this, there's 6 of you. There's Green Bottle and Ironbound, and there's just the dragon. The only concern that you have is that it picked its lair for a very specific reason. Lava is dangerous. It is not like fire. There's not a resistance to lava. Lava isn't fire. Lava is a liquid molten substance that does significant damage if you come in contact with it. Based on what Xanath was describing, it's held up in such a way that it'll have any advantage of a direct assault. The idea of coming at it in multiple different directions may take away that advantage.
Oh. Can she make anything that could neutralize lava or could create enough cold that would take away his advantage?
I can't do much about lava. That's something that's a little beyond my scope. I can make my famous ice grenades. Maybe those would be helpful. My ice bombs?
I think they would be.
Okay. Fire resistance and my ice bombs. It's going to be a long night. And she starts clattering with beakers and little drawer. I don't know if anyone's seen. It's such a cute movie. If anyone's seen the Willy Wonka movie with Timothy Chalamet. It is adorable. Me and Callista watched it and we couldn't stop laughing. But he has this little magical suitcase that when it opens, the Oompa Loompa had a traveling bar. So when he opened it, it turned into a wet bar along with a recliner. So he'd make himself a martini and then he'd get in his recliner and put his mask on to get a good night's sleep. Her setup is similar to that, only it's a little bit more advanced. So her small little halfling form is like brought all of her components and everything out. She's opening up little tiny drawers and she's mixing things and combining things as she begins to work into the night. Anybody else want to work on anything before we take that long rest?
I would. Let me find what it was called. I think it was the muffins of intelligence that I was trying to perfect from the dinner party, but I closed my dock.
The muffins of intellectual forbearance. You eat this and you get smarter. Eat it.
I had the name of it written down, and I closed my thing. It just said pastry. I don't think it was detailed as what kind.
Yeah, you can make it in any form you want. It just requires you to make it.
Don't worry about waking me when you come in. My hand.
I love when you just turns off his camera.
Well, I don't think you guys need to see my, mostly naked husband who might come on. But yeah.
Well, we appreciate that.
But so sorry, because two conversations at once. But so
Don't
my
worry.
pastry, I have it's that recipe I picked up from the library that if perfected, it would increase intelligence score, but I haven't perfected it yet, I don't think.
Okay.
So
So
I was
you're going to
gonna
work on that before you take your long rest. Anybody else going to work on anything?
I'm gonna pull out the Harper's notebook and thumb through it, looking for any references to very large, fearsome red dragons and ways to fight them effectively.
Okay. Give me investigation rolls. You begin to scour the Harper book that you have.
Not bad. That's investigation. That's a 22.
Yeah. There is a reference to an ancient red dragon that was dealt with within the windswept peaks of the central area of Faerun. And this Harper book catalogs and describes it in great detail. This particular one that was dealt with went by the name of Emberspark, a pretty powerful and ancient red dragon that took a great deal of mastery to bring down. Ancient red dragons are by far some of the most difficult creatures you could fight. They are naturally strong. Their armor has been described as near impenetrable. Its constitution and its health is pretty good. The charisma on these red dragons is pretty significant as well. It's one of the reasons why it's believed that when ancient red dragons come to full maturity, they innately become very powerful in magic. But they are narcissistic. They like to be the center of attention. They like to create fear. They like to terrify people. They love the idea of power. Power is intoxicating to them. And any opportunity to express that power and terrify people as part of what they are is very much important to them at the same time. And it's the lack of information towards weakness that has you concerned. This feels like, at best, it's a straight-up fight. It's going to have a lot of resistances, a lot of immunities, tough physically. There's a chance that maybe its intelligence may not be quite significant, and it might be a little bit vulnerable to psychic damage. And like most fire-bred creatures that cling or anchor themselves to a kind of natural immunity or resistance, it could be vulnerable to any water or cold-based effects.
Got it.
Anybody else? Xanith?
Yeah, I'd like to send cast sending to the Sky Reacher and say, your father has sent us. We're coming to help you. We're 6 or 7 hours away. Hide. Tell us what you know.
There's a moment. Don't know who you are, but you must know who I am to do this. I will hide. I will do what I can. Thank you. It just kind of cuts off.
Okay.
Did you say she was searching for something?
Yeah, we were told that she was sent to look for something, but to be honest, I did not ask what she was looking for.
The Ironbound kind of she was probably on one of her vision journeys. She has chosen not to be the next chief, but to be the next priestess. She has been tutored and trained under Embermane. From time to time, priestesses and priests are, I think you would call them oracles to a certain degree. They find themselves from time to time lost in a thought, a memory, or a vision. And they cannot purge themselves of that vision until they seek what they find. I remember Skyreacher speaking of a stone that she sought, a volcanic stone. I believe that might have been what she was looking for, up and over on the Vulcan Heights.
Stone.
Look up. Could it possibly? I'm just throwing it out there. Were you ever able to really find out any more about the orb of decay they got? Because I kind of wonder, yes.
That was Earthen's background that time.
Kids.
Yeah.
Did you say the orb of decay?
Yep, that's the thing that almost mind wiped me from a couple months ago.
Yep. It had something in it. It fucked with both of us pretty good.
Man, good note taking.
Was that at the library or was that before the library?
That was before the library.
That was
Okay.
before all that. Yeah.
Oh.
Man, the orb of decay. Look at that.
I take notes. See,
I'm affirmed. That's awesome.
Hey, buddy. Not reading the notes today?
I mean, this is going to be a crazy fight if we try to do this in the dragon's lair. We have to get it out of its lair somehow.
What do you propose to get it out? I know we've been saying they're very narcissistic.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how deep the hole is, but I could stand in front of the hole and just sing about, I heard there's some punk ass red dragon out here that thinks it's something good, you know.
do you think any of you guys can get into its mind and find out what its most treasured piece of stolen loot is? Because I can probably make a really good facsimile of it, or at the very least make a silent image of it. Just gonna be like, "Hey, bud."
I hear dragons are really good at seeing through illusion. Really good.
Well, okay, I'll make a fake one. What? I'm good at faking stuff. Isn't that right, Houdini?
Did you catch that as you went? No Dua Lipa fans? Come on. Catch me as I go, Houdini.
Earthen, I'm a broken old man. If that was music from the last Shut Up, Don't Ask How Long, I haven't heard it.
Like month.
Yeah, no. Whomst?
Dua Lipa.
Well, let's maybe go over our spells. Maybe we can all see if we can kind of cover all the bases to create a plan. Like, I don't know if there are any specific spells people have that might be good. I have a few frost spells that I can pull up.
Oh, sweet. I have a spell called Create or Destroy Water, where I can create up to 10 gallons of water.
Ooh.
Or water can fall as a rain in a 30-foot cube. But it's not like a thing that typically does damage.
I could think of some really twisted ways to use that, though.
Yeah.
Same thing with your Freedom of Waves.
Yeah, no, I mean, if nothing else, water turns, magma into stone. And if he's covered in it, maybe that could slow him down too.
Yeah, that's
I
a good
mean,
call.
are there any
Really good call.
are there any restrictions on your create or destroy water?
Let's see. Essentially, so it's 10 gallons of water within a range of 30 feet, or I can do rain as a 30-foot cube. It's a first level spell, so it's not a big deal to do it a bunch of times. Oh, so for higher levels, I've literally never used this spell, but for higher levels, you can increase the cube by 5 feet for each spell slot above first.
So if we wanted to fill the belly of a dragon with water so it couldn't blow fire at us.
There's nothing to say I can't. Yeah, it just has to be within range. I don't even have to see it. I could put 10 gallons inside of a dragon.
Yes.
I certainly don't think it would kill the dragon, but if it would at least limit the fire breathing, I'm down with that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
All mine are persuasion and charisma based. Outside of what I did to old Erebos.
Oh, yeah. I mean, also, we should consider the fact that this dragon bears some similarities to a different creature that we've seen trapped inside a volcano not too far away, and that we've seen a god be trapped in the shape of a dragon before. And so, if there is some connection that we cannot see yet, it's worth considering it.
These are good points.
And as far as some spells that I think might okay, so let me know if these seem good or if there are other ones that would be better for me. I have Armor of Agethis, which is a protective magical force surrounds you, manifesting as a spectral force that covers you and your gear. You gain 5 temporary hit points for the duration if a creature hits you with a melee attack. While you have these points, the creature takes 5 cold damage, and at a higher level, you cast the spell using a spell slot in the same. Temporary hit points increased by 5 for each slot. And then Frostbite. You cause a numbing frost to form on one creature that you can see within range. The target must make a Constitution saving throw. On failed save, the target takes 1d6 cold damage and has disadvantage on the next weapon attack roll, or makes before end of next turn. And then the higher it goes, by like the 17th level, which is where I'm at, it's 4d6. And then I also took Hideous Laugh, because if he likes to talk, then maybe we can cast Laughter on him, which might be difficult on him for a minute. And summon Elemental, so I can summon a Water Elemental. And Protection.
Yeah.
And protection from energy. So for a duration, the willing creature you touch has resistance to one type of damage, including fire. So I can.
If I can manage to polymorph the dragon like we did Erebos, I could just throw him in the bag of holding like we did with the other guy.
Oh, that's such a humiliating way to die.
But how cool would it be to have a giant dragon in your bag of holding?
Very cool. And then when the army comes at us, we can just flies at them.
Yeah. Let them fight the dragon.
No, definitely.
Problem solved.
Also, just pointing this out. Remember, if I can fit in the bag, I don't technically need to breathe, so I can just sit there and negotiate with the dragon. I don't necessarily want to kill it in the bag, but just like, hey man, we can work out a deal here, but
there's like nothing stopping the dragon from killing you in the bag either, though.
No, but I mean,
or completely destroying our arm when we go to take it out.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, if it was polymorphed into a small creature and then put in the bag, once the polymorph wore off, it would resort to its normal size,
Yeah.
which would shred the bag because it would exceed the weight limit of the bag.
Yeah.
So it would be a dangerous thing to do.
Well, wouldn't it just kind of,
Although-
create a ring in the astral realm and just kind of die anyway? Because then that's how shredding the bag generally works.
Well, it shredding the bag would be the limit of the magical property of the bag. If two bags of holding collide, that's a different kind of outcome of destructive magic. The destruction of the physical vessel, due to the limitations of what it can hold, would then spill whatever's in the bag out onto the ground.
What if we polymorph him into a hamster and then tie the hamster to a brick and then throw the brick into the ocean? Which is to say he'd drown and maybe die.
It would revert back to a dragon at the bottom of the ocean. Or however far down it got.
Yeah, but wouldn't it, die because of the water?
Or there would be a
She
massive
hopes.
steam bubble eruption, which would actually look really, really cool. I feel like it would be like setting a nuke off underwater, except it's a dragon. I'm down to just try that because that seems awesome.
That sounds pretty fun. Or we could just kill him as a hamster with a fucking mullet. That seems less fun somehow.
Did you say kill it as a hamster with a mullet?
Yeah, like
give the hamster a mullet and then kill it?
no. Just those
The fish mullet?
I don't know. Do you know those hammers you use when you make
a
schnitzel?
mallet. Okay, nope.
A mallet.
Yep, I heard
sorry.
mullet, and I was like, the hairstyle.
He would die of
like,
embarrassment.
Kill the hamster with a mullet. Like,
No,
why would you do that to the hamster?
This is like a weird cat kind of thing. Like, I'm into it, but it's about some surf and turf, I guess. But
I love it.
Spot, Earthen, do you have any spells that might be specifically good for this, or that we can kind of plan together or try to combine in some way?
I mean, polymorph is not a high level spell. I have lots and lots and lots of that to use. So
amazing.
Yep. Yeah. The other thing I have is I could potentially give him disadvantage on a particular save or action, or I could make a still image. That's what I was talking about. Maybe finding a bit of treasure that the dragon really prizes above all the other stuff. But other than that, all my stuff is kind of melee focused.
I mean, it's based on the previous epic battle we saw. I think it would do very nicely. But I don't know. Are we thinking of trying to negotiate with him at all, or like trying to talk to him, or just letting him monologue for an hour and a half while we run away?
I can talk his ear off,
Or do you?
There's a sudden crack of lightning, and it starts to rain.
Oh.
Well, that could be beneficial.
Yeah.
I would much rather fight this thing in the rain.
Yeah.
It stays that way.
I'll pop up the dome on the boat so we're not getting rained on.
Yeah, sure. Ironbound sees you. What magic is this? You can make houses?
Yeah, it just creates a small, safe place that the weather can't affect.
Oh, can I see inside?
Well, you weren't. It's me talking to him through the bubble. You weren't in when I cast it, so no. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you got this almost 8 foot tall, like Voik monk. Just
it's so sad.
I could polymorph him too.
Do you want to polymorph him into a gnome?
I mean, technically, I could polymorph all of us at one time. Because I got mass polymorph.
Ooh.
So we could just be a whole big mass of dragons trying to kill each other.
That
Which
would be
admittedly would look awesome.
wild.
What's your
Dragons.
highest CR of a dragon you can do now?
17. It's my level, right?
Well, I don't know if it's different for mass polymorph because of the
Let me look at mass. Hang on.
way the spell works.
Mass polymorph.
I think that's a ninth
Yeah.
level spell, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How many of those do you have now? Slots.
Ninth, only one.
Ah,
Only the one. Yeah. So let's see.
I mean, can you transform all of us into ice dragons?
Same form. I can choose from the same form or different ones for each target. New form can be any beast of scene whose challenge rating is equal to or less than the target's or half the target's level if the target doesn't have a challenge rating. I can turn you all into half the level.
right.
things
So
I've
it
seen.
would be an 8.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we could all be young bronze dragons or T-Rexes.
I don't know. Can we be anything ice related? Ice giants, ice.
Frost giant, yeah.
Whoa. I mean, I think you'd be intimidated by 7 frost giants. And I don't know who the
don't really
other
have any-
3
we
people
have-
would be.
We just have axes and stuff, though. We don't have any, we wouldn't have any fun icy stuff to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, oh, boo.
I mean, I could go like young white dragons, and those are all ice breath.
Or maybe we can just have it ready for you to transform one of us, probably our tank or yourself, into an ice dragon at a key point in the battle.
Yeah. Like we did against the last crazy bad guy we fought.
Yeah. Honestly, it ended up working really well.
Well to have in our pocket. It was good for me because, this dragon's going to squash me in one step if I get hit. I'm super weak.
But I think charisma would actually do us good when fighting against a creature that appears to be both intelligent and manipulative. Like,
Yeah. The only downside is you said the spell effects. It's pretty much immune to spell effects.
Hmm.
So I'm like, well, I mean, I have a lot of things that do spell effect.
Oh, wait, can hideous laughter affect it if it's because otherwise I'll change it before the long rest, like for the long rest thing. But
Well, that hideous laughter just makes them laugh. It's not like a stun or something, right? Like mine is like
I thought it
stun,
was like
or-
it like renders you prone or something.
I think it renders you incapacitated until you successfully save.
well,
I
if
can
it's
read it.
incapacitated, then it probably wouldn't work.
It's a creature of your choice that you can see within range, perceive everything as hilariously funny, and falls into a fit of laughter if the spell affects it. Target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or fall prone, becoming incapacitated and unable to stand for the duration. A creature with intelligence score of 4 is going to be affected. At the end of each turn and each time it takes damage, the target can take another wisdom saving throw.
It's
So-
concentration.
Yeah.
Are dragons immune to like the prone condition though, or is it going to be too big?
I mean,
Or-
That's
they-
a good point. It could be immune to the prone condition.
It would be a really weird I mean, it would just be a dragon laying on its stomach, which would kind of be fun.
I mean, it would be immune to prone, but it would still be subject to the basic rule of incapacitation due to its constant laughter. So you wouldn't necessarily get an
considered like a
advantage.
status condition.
You wouldn't get any advantage from its because it wouldn't be prone. You wouldn't gain those advantages for a prone creature, but you'd still gain the ability to make it incapacitated. Although it could also be immune to incapacitation as well. So
That's what I would be worried about.
yeah.
If there was a way that we could get it out of its lair and keep it from going back in its lair before we finished fighting it, that would be ideal.
Ooh.
Because
Well,
I mean, I can imagine if we're down there, a dragon's lair is It's not a place I want to be.
So, do you guys think that I should change that for either a spell that would help us leave faster and escape faster, or a spell that would just make cause fear within the dragon and make it like acutely aware of its mortality?
Could it possibly know fear? I mean,
I guess it's a fair point that we don't necessarily have to kill this dragon if we can just kind of sneak her out.
I'm not going to seduce the dragon, but I will try to get it out.
Come on, Earthen. Come on. Do it.
I will. I mean, I am okay to try and lure the dragon out of the cave if you guys want to be the clandestine entrance and try to sneak in and get her out. I'll be that. I can be that sacrificial lamb.
I feel like if we're gonna do that, we should get somebody faster, because he would finish you off so fast that we wouldn't get much time to get her.
I mean, if all it wanted to do was come and bite me, yeah, but I would spin the greatest tale this dragon has ever heard about how great it is.
Oh, that's a good idea. So,
Are you gonna Bilbo Baggins this thing? Is that what you're thinking of doing?
I'm gonna do better than Bilbo. I mean, like Bilbo's
Whoa.
How dare you?
I'm not gonna go be invisible. I can't.
Stepping on some toes today.
I don't have the
earthenyanwood@gmail.com for all that hate mail.
I don't have the ability to be invisible, so I don't have the luxury of that. I'm just gonna talk to it really, really fancily.
I mean, in point, like I mentioned in Discord, like I do, like make an image of myself to just sit there looking like kind of bored while I go around just like, I'm invisible doing stuff.
I really don't think that'll work though, because it's like dragons can see really, 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 especially in their lair, right? They're really, really, really good.
Well, and that brings up, between you and Puck. You reading the Harper's book, and with Puck's natural affinity for dragons, you also know that their lair can be used as a way of, them protecting or having advantages over potential threats. So when, there's also that as well. And, fighting an ancient red dragon amongst a field of obsidian, stone, and magma pools could be just as deadly as the dragon.
Yeah.
Can I try to, again, use that advantage or look at any of my beast books to see if there's anything a dragon might desire? Is anything we could lure it out with?
Power and wealth.
Power and wealth. So we can't have,
I have the power to speak to a dead god. Guarantee the dragon doesn't have that.
I mean, also, can Puck try to see if there's a connection between Zahir and the dragon based on her experience?
I would say the description of the feeling of hate is not a connection between the two, but a expression of what the dragon feels like to you when you sense its presence.
Is there any chance that he's trapped in there?
No, you don't get the feeling he's trapped.
Okay. Do we want to do the thing where Xanath just sits there and sings, and it's like, oh, I'm a maiden. Oh, what am I doing back here?
In my full armor outfit, just being like, oh, I'm a damsel, please.
And what's funny is I watched that movie with Millie Brown on Netflix, Damsel. Yeah. And I'm just like, that was such a cool retelling of that story. I loved it. It was so cool. Made me think of that.
I mean, I could polymorph myself into a woman. If you really want to try that.
I mean, we have... You have two women in your team, you bastard.
I really don't want to go in that cave. I really don't want to go in that lair.
Well,
if I can at all avoid it.
Why don't we have Plan A, be that we just lure the dragon out of the lair, and hopefully she can, Skyreacher can slink away. And if that doesn't work, then we have a plan B, which is maybe like approach from several different directions and try and just close in on multiple sides so that we can do some damage without like just getting all blasted at once.
That sounds good.
I'm game to try and hide in the water, like to get the dragon out and then just go hide in the ocean. Because I can breathe in the water like for free because of this crown I'm wearing.
Should I have one of my spells be breathe underwater?
Well, that would
then
just
I can. No. I can cast it to up to 10 people, I think.
Well, I just meant like with Earthen's helmet and my ability, like I don't need to breathe, so I could stay underwater too. So if that would be helpful for you two, then sure. But Earthen and I don't think we could really communicate except for like elaborate hand signals or interpreter dance underwater.
I mean, then I can just put it on all of you, and then we can communicate till. No, actually, I don't know if that's true.
I can
just
play
making up
music we
stuff
can all
now.
hear.
I mean, it's not.
We can all hear underwater, though.
It's not too uncommon for people who travel in underwater regions. You remember from your time on Haven with the merfolk, they use telepathy as a form of communication while underwater. So if you have telepathic bond or the ability to use telepathy, it would definitely give you an edge. You also know that the Vulcan Heights are on the very edge of the northern part of the island, near where the sea imagine like a smaller version of the Hawaiian volcanic fields, where this area has been active for a while and it's been growing outward. So it's near the edge of the sea as well. So while fighting it in its lair sounds restrictive and potentially dangerous, the trick is, how do we get it out of its lair? What does the effort look like to get that part of it, done? Go ahead.
I was going to say, we can certainly communicate with it outside of the layer if we can think of anything that would get it outside, or even put an image in its head.
I can amplify my voice with some of the skills I have. I can make my voice louder.
Do we want to
literally try and call it out?
Do we think we can get it out there by showing off any amount of our wealth? Because we do have all that residium, and I'm sure, or we do have in the bag of holding like a few very valuable things.
As this conversation inside the tiny hut kind of goes back and forth, Greenbottle's working on the alchemy lab. The Ironbound is kind of urging the oarsmen to pull harder and to get there quicker. As you guys are having this conversation, Puck, you feel the light sensation of small dragon claws on your shoulder, and Lunch leans into your ear. You could offer it me. It can't refuse that. And that's where we'll finish tonight, as we are making decisions on how to beat a red dragon. Now, we will not be on next Sunday. We will be taking Easter break. I believe, Earthen, you have an Easter event, correct? Was it you? Who was it?
It was Xanth is going to be.
Oh, yeah, Xanth. Yeah, she's going to be in Japan, which I'm totally jealous. I hope she has an amazing trip. You guys linger for a sec. We'll talk about the remaining schedule. Everybody else, thank you so much for coming out. Be safe, be kind. Don't forget, play a game. Good night, everybody. See, I even thought I had it on the right tab again.
Oh,
you know
so
what?